Okay, we'll start tonight with AB 2449. Isaac?
Thank you, Chair. So this evening, the Planning Commission has received and will need to take formal action on a request by Commissioner Jones to participate via teleconference at tonight's regular meeting, and that is due to childcare obligations. So first, I will request our clerk. Mr. Gillig, can you please confirm the following? That the city's regular Planning Commission meeting is currently streaming on a two-way audiovisual platform and two-way telephonic service. Webcasting is working for members of the public?
Yes.
And can you confirm that a majority of the commissioners are present and appearing in person at the chambers at the location noticed on the Planning Commission agenda?
Yes.
Can you confirm the agenda clearly explains the options by which the public can participate remotely in tonight's meeting?
Yes.
Can you please confirm there is a public hearing on tonight's published agenda?
Yes.
And can you please confirm the number of times that Commissioner Jones has appeared remotely this year outside of hybrid meetings that were held under AB 361?
None.
Okay, thank you. And now for our chair. I will ask the chair to please read the circumstances justifying Commissioner Jones's requested remote participation.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones is seeking to participate remotely based on caregiving for a child, which prevents the member from attending in person. This qualifies for attendance under the Just Cause provision of AB 2449. Commissioner Jones, please ensure your camera remains on for the duration of the meeting in accordance with AB 2449's requirement. If a disruption occurs to prevent us from broadcasting this meeting to the public through the remote attendance options, we will not take any actions on agenda items until public access is restored. All votes this evening on matters before the Commission will occur by roll call rather than voice vote or raised hands.
Thank you. And now, Commissioner Jones, you must publicly disclose if anyone over the age of 18 is in the room with you, and if you can please confirm whether anyone is in fact in the room with you presently.
I can confirm that there is no one over the age of 18 in the room with me right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on with our land acknowledgement. The West Hollywood City Council acknowledges that the land on which we gather, and that is currently known as the City of West Hollywood, is the occupied and ceded seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and Gabrielino Kizh people. I would like to call our regularly scheduled West Hollywood Planning Commission meeting to order. It is Thursday, June 20, 2024, and is 6:33. Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Hoopengarter, do you mind leading us in the pledge? Thank you. David, roll call.
Thank you. Good evening. As it was stated earlier, all roll call votes will be by voice tonight and not digital. Commissioner Matos.
Present.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Hoopengarner.
Present.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Here.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Present.
Chair Carvalero.
Here.
And we have a 6-member quorum tonight.
Thank you. Okay, item 4, election of chair and vice chair. So my term ends on June 30th, and the new chair and vice chair will start their new term on July 1st. So do I have a nomination for chair?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarter?
I'd like to nominate Vice Chair Michael Lombardi.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Thank you. David, will you lead us in the vote?
I have Assistant City Clerk here tonight to officially do that for us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Commissioner Matos.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Yes.
And Chair Calvajero.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, election of vice chair. Do I have any nominations for vice chair? Commissioner
Yes.
Lombardi?
I would like to nominate Commissioner Gregoire.
I'll second that.
Thank you. David? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Commissioner Matos.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Garner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Yes.
And Chair Calvajero.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. And this the installation will be held at the next meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, approval of the agenda. Do I have any changes to the agenda as presented? If not, could I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Moved by Commissioner Hoopengarner, seconded by Commissioner Matos. Commissioner Matos.
To clarify, I was not the seconder of
Oh.
that motion.
I'm sorry. Who seconded it?
Commissioner Gregoire.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Gregoire.
Vice Chair-elect Gregoire.
Commissioner Matos.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Yes.
Chair Carvalero.
Yes.
And the motion is approved, approving the agenda for June 20th, 2024.
Thank you, David. Approval of the meeting minutes from June 6, 2024. Do I have any corrections on that? Those meeting minutes? Vice Chair Lombardi?
I do have one item for clarification, and it is on page 9 of 11. The very top, the first sentence and paragraph. So this is, there's a line that reads, regarding the commission, they questioned if this has been approved by the Urban Design and Architecture Studio, or UDAS. I believe this was a question that I had asked, and I guess I'm wondering if, I don't know if UDAS actually approved the project, so at a minimum, I think it should read reviewed, but maybe staff can weigh in.
Yeah, staff can go back to verify and clarify if it was either approved or reviewed and change that in that paragraph.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I would move with that staff correction.
Second?
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Hoopengarner, seconded by Vice Chair Lombardi. Commissioner Matos.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
I will abstain as I was not present at the last meeting. I also just want to call out on the agenda, it's listed as the draft action minutes for the 6/6/23 meeting. Just a note, might want to, I think it's right on the resolution, but just a quick note.
Oh, great, thank you.
It's printed on in the actual agenda.
Thank you, noted. Commissioner Hoopengarner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Yes.
Chair Carvalero.
Yes.
And the minutes for June 6, 2024 are approved as amended.
Thank you. David, do we have any public comments at this time?
We have no public comments in chambers and nothing on Zoom.
Thank you. Item 8, Director's Report.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Planning Commissioners. Congratulations to our incoming officers, and look forward to continuing to work with you all. I did want to just acknowledge that we had a commissioner resign. I was not present at the last meeting that you held, so I just also wanted to extend my appreciation to Mark Edwards for his service, and certainly we're going to miss seeing him here. So I wanted to lead with that. For my director's report this evening, I want to share a few items of interest from recent meetings of the City Council. Since my last report to you on May 16th, the City Council met twice, on May 20th and again on June 10th, and approved items related to current planning that I wanted to share with you and the community. First, the council approved an item that gave direction to staff to draft and bring forward a zone text amendment, which would pertain to future projects with development agreements. The direction from council was that we should prepare a zone text amendment to require new projects that would be seeking development agreements with the city to require noticing within a 1,000-foot radius rather than the standard 500-foot radius currently required. Secondly, to require a neighborhood meeting with residents within a 1,000-foot radius of any project seeking a development agreement, including stand-alone billboards before any city meetings are held. And thirdly, directed staff to consider new ways to inform the community about upcoming design review subcommittee meetings. So that was one of the items I wanted to share with you. The council also approved an item giving direction to staff regarding pending development applications that are requesting to invoke the builder's remedy under state law. And this direction included that staff provide the city council with regular updates on the status of these applications that are pending with regard to their environmental review. It gave direction to staff and the city attorney to work with the city's lobbyist to develop and implement a lobbying campaign in Sacramento to exempt the city from the current builder's remedy proposals based on the city's track record of supporting and encouraging affordable housing. Thirdly, to direct the city attorney and city staff to research and provide the council with all available options to address specific builder's remedy projects. And lastly, to direct staff to meet with each entity proposing builder's remedy projects to determine potential opportunities to negotiate alternative compromise paths to provide housing in a manner that is more in line with city goals while avoiding costly and time-consuming challenges if no resolutions are available through other avenues. So those were two items I thought that would be of interest just to underscore here with you all tonight at the meeting May 20th of City Council. On June 10th, there was additionally an item that I think is of interest here. It was an item that was brought before the commission earlier this year related to a full motion digital billboard at 8497 to 8499 Sunset Boulevard. The commission had recommended approval and the council did approve that application with the inclusion of an amendment to the development agreement. And notably, I just wanted to mention what that amendment was, and that was to provide that the parties agree to meet in good faith and negotiate appropriate amendments in the event of any documented safety problems in the intersection that might result from the 3D billboard. So again, the parties would agree to reopen if there are safety problems resulting from the billboard. So that was, they concurred with the Planning Commission's action with that additional language. And that concludes my report for tonight. Thank you as always for your service, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for our director? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 9, consent calendar. We have none. Item 10, public hearings, section 1. We do not have any projects tonight which are subject to the Housing Accountability Act. Item 11, public hearing, section 2. We have one project tonight that does require a public hearing under the law. Item 11A, the commission will hold a public hearing regarding a request for an amendment to a CUP to increase the total interior area where the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol is permitted for a property located at 8300 Sunset Boulevard. And I shifted things around a little bit, and I'd like to start with commissioner disclosures. Do we have any disclosures at this time? No? No. Great, thank you. And Casey Connolly, thank you for staff report.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. My name is Casey Conley, Associate Planner with Current Historic Preservation Planning. This is the presentation for the Conditional Use Permit Amendment to expand the area for the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol in the interior of the hotel located at 8300 Sunset Boulevard. The property is located on the southeast corner of Sunset Boulevard and Sweetser Avenue. It's in the Sunset Specific Plan along the Sunset Strip. It is surrounded by commercial to the north, commercial and high-density residential to the east, high-density residential to the south, and William S. Hart Park to the west. The property contains a U-shaped 3-story hotel building that was constructed in 1962 as the Thunderbird Inn. In the 1970s, the property was converted to a senior living facility, and in the 1966, the hotel use was reestablished on the site as the Standard Hotel, which closed in 2021. In 2022, the building was designated a West Hollywood Cultural Resource, and the new hotel operator will activate this iconic property, which has been vacant for over 3 years. The site contains the hotel building with restaurant, pool, and nightclub, a portico share on the north facade, and a subterranean parking garage accessed on Sweetser Avenue to the east. In 1966, CUP 95-12 established the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol on the site at the restaurant, poolside patio, for room service, and in guest room minibars. Through this entitlement, the property was allotted 5,372 square feet of interior space for this use, not including the pool deck area. In 2000, MCP 00-09 reconfigured some of that interior square feet to create the pool bar lounge on the interior of the hotel adjacent to the pool deck, which can be seen on the left side of this slide here. This slide shows how the 2000 MCP approval dispersed the allotted interior 5,372 square feet, which included a significant amount of square footage to the restaurant back of house, which isn't public space and wasn't usable. The nightclub is also labeled on this plan, though the use wasn't established until 2005 and was carved out of existing restaurant square footage. The applicant is proposing to expand and reconfigure the area that the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol is permitted on the interior of the hotel only from 5,372 square feet to 8,022 square feet. The existing pool bar/lounge would be enlarged and moved from the north side of the pool to the east side on the interior of the hotel. The expanded lobby would newly allow for the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol for guests to enjoy communal drinks. Guests permitted to enjoy drinks in hotel lobbies is a common amenity along the Sunset Strip, and all the hotels noted on page 4 of the staff report have this permitted use. The restaurant and the nightclub would remain as already permitted, and no changes would be made to the operation of alcohol sales on the pool deck, with no expanded area and no change to the operation. The proposal would expand and reconfigure the interior space only, where sales, service, and consumption of alcohol is permitted. The existing operation for this use on the interior of the property would remain between 6 a.m. and 2 a.m. daily. The change is contained within the interior of the building and is consistent with other hotels along the Sunset Strip. No change of use to any exterior areas is proposed. The physical exterior changes associated with the operational change have been reviewed under a separate certificate of appropriateness application and are not part of this approval. With that, staff does recommend that the Planning Commission approve the application and adopt draft resolution number PC 241561, approving conditional use permit amendment to expand the area for the sales, service, and consumption of alcohol in the interior of the hotel located at 8300 Sunset Boulevard. I did receive one phone call within the 500-foot radius in support of the expansion, a neighbor who was glad to see this property activated again and this area of Sunset Strip come back to life. And with that, the applicant's team is here, would also like to verbally present. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Casey. So typically we do questions of staff, and given, I would like to see the applicant's presentation before we ask the questions. Can we keep questions of staff just to simple clarifications? And okay, Commissioner Matos? No, does anybody? Okay, then we'll do the applicant presentation, and then we'll do questions of staff and the applicant, because it seems like there's a lot of tossing back and forth. Commissioner Hoopengartner, you have any questions?
I did have 2.
Great.
On the resolution, page 5, there were 2 sections removed, but I didn't see any additions, and I wondered if those were being rolled into another section.
2 sections of the resolution
You had
itself.
strikeouts?
Oh, so those strikeouts talked about the square footage permitted for the allowed sale and service and consumption of alcohol, so those were striked out, and then the one that's being added reiterates what the new square footage would be allowed.
I was just, I couldn't find where that was, so I was just hoping
I
for
believe
some
it's
help.
just below it. I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Is it 2.1?
Correct.
Okay. Excuse me. In 3.1, is there a reason that the south-facing sliding glass doors are not required to be closed at 10 o'clock? That only the west-facing doors?
Those are already a condition in the existing resolutions, so those would remain in full effect, that they would also be
So we're just keeping them
closed.
separate and not reiterating it here.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So the conditions are already in the two resolutions, Resolution 9616 and Resolution, I'm testing my knowledge of these numbers, will remain in full effect, and this is just a new condition to ensure all the doors close at 10 p.m.
And there weren't any reconfiguration of the doors. It's a little hard to tell from the plan.
The south doors are not reconfigured, just the new west doors are being
Okay,
added.
thank you.
Or sorry, east doors.
Thank you, Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner. The applicant's presentation, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. My name is Michael Overington. I am with Ian Schrager Company, and I've been with Ian Schrager for about 50 years. And we have taken very much pride in being in the hotel industry that entire time, and are actively very excited about the project here on the Sunset Strip. We take pride in the fact that the hotels that we do are unique and different, and we did our first one in the mid-'80s called the Morgan Hotel, which was considered the birth of the boutique hotel business, and we work with unique designers and try to create a very unique property that was different than the rest of the hotel industry, and really design-centric and made for people to really have a place to go and a place to stay that's very different than anything else they experienced before. And that was the birth of our business, and from there we did the Royalton Hotel and the Paramount Hotel and the Delano Hotel, and we worked with Philippe Stark on our first hotel here in West Hollywood, the Mondrian. And the idea there was to take that old property and to make something iconic out of it, kind of Alice in Wonderland type of feel, and we really embraced it. And we love working in West Hollywood, and we went then down to the Edition Hotel and did a new building out of the ground with a very famous designer from England called John Pawson, and we just love the Strip, and we're very excited about taking over this landmark, the old standard, the Thunderbird, as we call it, and making something really unique and bringing it back to life. It's been recently landmarked, which we embraced and actually love the idea of it, and we are trying to bring it back to life and are giving it all new mechanical systems, electrical systems, structurally upgrading it. It's a lot of cost that is going into it to kind of bring this iconic building that is part of the Strip back to life here. And we couldn't do it without neighborhood support. Actually, all of our properties are all landmark buildings all over the world, and we do them all with the neighbors' support and working closely with the neighbors. It's like we want to be your partner here. We want to be everybody's guest house, and we want everyone to come and stay here and be proud of the fact that we're part of the community. We love the Strip and love everything about it, and we think it's a wonderful place to build hotels and to be a part of. We are not the old standard. We're grown-ups. We are hotelmen. We want to build hotel rooms. We're selling hotel rooms. We have to. The money you make in hotels is in the hotel rooms, not in the bar business, not in the nightclub business. It's about the rooms. It's all about the rooms, and we're trying to create a mature, new, modern space that people will be proud of there, that will be adult-centric and very unique. We couldn't have done this without the support of the staff here, and for the last year and a half, we've been working with the whole the development staff here, giving us guidance and helping us through the development process, and we couldn't have also done this all without our architects and local folks here. Brian Wickersham from Aux Architecture has been instrumental, amazingly instrumental in helping us guide it through the process. So we're very happy to be here, and we want to be good neighbors, and we're looking forward to bringing this building back to life, and we're very excited, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Is that the extent of your presentation?
Excuse me, sir?
Is that the extent of your presentation?
Yes, we have our architect here. I mean, we have our attorney here, Andrew. But yes, that's it.
Good evening, Commissioners. Andrew Brady, Land Use Counsel for the applicant. As Michael mentioned, we're here with our architect, Brian Wickersham from Mox. I'm here as well, so that's the full extent of our presentation. We fully support and agree with staff's recommendation. I will echo our appreciation for staff's diligence and professionalism throughout this process. It's been exemplary, so we greatly appreciate it. And we're here happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we now have the opportunity to do questions of staff and the applicant. Does anybody have questions?
Hear from the public first?
I'd prefer to do that after.
Okay.
After the questions, yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Hoopengardner.
I have some technical questions and some practical questions. How tall is the glass wall facing the south and the neighbors?
Hi, I'm Brian Wickersham. I'm with Ox Architecture, the architect. I'll take the technical things, and you can take anything CUP related. The wall is 8 feet. It's currently in place, and we're doing some restoration work. And
Did you say 8 feet?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And so we're restoring it, and we're also sealing some of the gaps in it. Per the report that was provided, there is a little bit of repair that needed to be done, and we're also fortifying it with some planters in front to add a little bit more of an acoustic buffer.
Okay, thank you. In looking at your plans, and they're not what's on the screen here, and looking at the conditions that the bar lobby be closed at 2 and the bar be closed at 2, I'm just trying to envision how that's going to be enforced, the same as enforcing the closing of the doors at 10 p.m. Onto the pool deck. I guess, let me take a step back. I had a hard time figuring out what the actual pool deck hours allowed are currently.
So yes, there is no change of proposed hours on the pool deck. They're being maintained as is.
But what are they? I couldn't find it anywhere in the...
I believe, you can correct me, still 10.
I can.
Oh, sorry, please.
That's okay, I can answer that for you. So the pool deck hours are Sunday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Thursday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 a.m.
On the pool deck?
Correct.
Okay. And what is the allowed occupancy on the pool deck?
Go to my cheat sheet here for the actual number. The occupancy on the pool deck is remaining the same at a total of apologize, I don't have the occupant loads off the top of my head here. I actually don't have it on the drawing either. It is occupancy to remain because the square footage is remaining the same. So there's no change to use, therefore there's no change to occupancy.
Okay. I'm asking these questions because it's about the noise, it's about the volume, et cetera, et cetera. So I looked at the plans too, and I couldn't find any occupancies. I got some questions answered about total occupancies, but not actual occupancies of the various spaces. And that ties back to the hours. Okay, if you could find that, I would appreciate it. Because it's back to the way the flow is designed on the plans. There's a lot of movement envisioned between the nightclub, the lobby, the pool, the pool deck, and the occupancy becomes rather fluid. So I'm wondering how you propose to manage that.
Well, I think it's managed operationally really by the staff watching over it and keeping the space in compliance with the rules that are laid out today. But I think more than anything, it's going to just be that the occupancy that we have, which I think we answered your question, which is we've only increased the occupancy for the beverage service by 31. And I think it's really important to note that because we've reduced in some areas. The total occupancy is only increased by 31. Those people could go out to the pool. The pool is a larger area than the lobby, but we don't foresee that being at a higher capacity because the limitation there really becomes the chaise lounge seating and honestly just the comfort level of the pool, which I think will dictate it more than anything. But I would say that to Michael's comments that he made, I think that the biggest thing here is that this is, as he said, it's not the former hotel. This is a brand that is more sophisticated. It's for a more adult group of people to come and enjoy. And I think the testament to this is when you look at the sister hotel that's in New York, it is not a big party place. It is a place where you go into the lobby and you see young professionals on their laptops next to the bar, sipping on chai latte and not going crazy. It is a very different brand. And I think that that is the biggest thing we can convey tonight is that we are making a big transition in what this hotel is as an operation.
Okay, thank you. So back to that occupancy and looking at the water closets. It seems to be underserviced with only 5 water closets for 491 people. Can you, I mean, based on LA, Department of Building and Safety, what are the actual requirements and does this plan meet them?
So this plan has been reviewed by Building and Safety. We were actually done with the architectural plan check. The fixture counts are in compliance with the municipal codes and the building codes. The big thing with the hotel is most of the people that are on the pool are guests. And so rather than going to a public restroom, they're probably going to go back to their room and use the bathroom in their room. And so I think that's where it may look like it's underserviced, but we're meeting code, and there's a lot of other restrooms for people to use in their own room.
Except for the hotel, except for the nightclub and the diner, et cetera. Those are going to be public spaces.
But the nightclub is served by a different set of restrooms. And so there's restrooms.
There's 2 sets of restrooms?
Yeah, there's restrooms that are a level down into the basement level that serve the public spaces. And those are in compliance with the codes for the usage of the pool.
Oh, they weren't on the plans. They were in a separate
You
place?
probably see, they're another floor down for the restrooms for the public spaces.
Those weren't in the plans we were submitted, so.
That could be the case, yeah.
So, yeah, since the fixture counts aren't reviewed under the planning entitlement, they're not required to be part of these plans.
I'm just trying to understand from a flow perspective, operational perspective, and how that relates to an alcohol license, so. Okay. And to be clear, that the 1,600 square feet in the back of house that was on the original approvals is being moved to the lobby, and that's why the number, because I couldn't get the math to work, because there wasn't square footage on the lobby.
That's correct, yeah. So in the approved plans from 1996, there was area identified as back of house that for some reason was within the initial approval for alcohol. We know from our past experience with the prior operators that they operated the lobby and served alcohol in the lobby, but it didn't totally match up with their plans. So we see part of this as a bit of just cleanup and making sure that the plans align with the authorizations and that our operation going forward is approved and totally legal and legit in accordance with the plans we approved. So part of this space we're considering reconfigured because it was space that was previously identified as back of house in the plans, but was operationally treated as alcohol service area within the lobby. So a part of this is just cleanup, and the other part is, the expansion into some new areas.
Okay, because it just seemed like an interesting exact 1,600 square foot wash, and I wanted to make sure that what we're approving is in fact matches the plans.
Yeah. It matches the plans as reconfigured
Assuming
now.
we approve.
Yeah, yeah. So we, we looked at the old plans, and of course, we had to sort of figure out what's new, what's reconfigured, what's added, but what's in front of you on the page is totally consistent with the approved plans that have now gone through full architectural review. So they're at a almost complete level of design, and what you see here is totally consistent with the final design.
Okay. I think that's my questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner. Any other questions? Vice Chair Lombardi?
I'm only asking because this topic came up and I'm curious more than anything else, but I just was wondering, the old plans in the staff report did have a pool toilet that was behind the front desk that looks like it's gone in the new plans, but you've clarified that there's additional restrooms below. Is that true though? That one's gone in the new version where you occupy these 3 rooms and some of that space that was the old reception? I'm just curious what's going on there and if you can confirm.
Yeah, the toilet that was directly behind the reception desk has been removed.
Okay.
We have fixtures, so all of the fixtures are open to everyone that's a guest. So there are some fixtures directly behind the bar adjacent to the nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are additional toilets that are one level down, and that's the larger load of the required toilets that's being provided.
Okay, great. And then I have one other question based on your presentation. You noted that this project is trying to capture a more mature audience, and so if you're comfortable, I'm just curious, is there a brand or a point of reference, or is that?
Can we say it? Yeah. Yes, we are doing the Public brand. We
Okay.
have a hotel in New York that we're expanding out to LA, but it's called
Okay.
the Public.
Great,
Sorry,
thank
I
you.
should have mentioned that right out.
That's okay. I understand that. Well, I'm trying to understand where you are with these things, and since you brought that forward as a case of where it's headed, I thought it would be good to understand a little bit more context. Thank you.
You got it.
Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner.
Thank you. Just one more. You clarified that alcohol service and consumption stops at 10 p.m. on the pool deck, and that's what's in the conditions. And
It depends on the day.
So the doors are closed at 10 p.m. to stop the flow, but the alcohol service is permitted until midnight, Sunday through Wednesday, and 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday.
so the consumption, because when I read the original CUP, it said no consumption. It said no service or consumption.
So in
So we are changing that?
In 2009, as in the staff report, there were amendments there was a CUP for the pool deck that permitted those hours of operation for the sales, service, and consumption. So there's a separate entitlement for the pool decks.
Which isn't in our package.
Correct, because the pool deck is not under review for this application, so those weren't included.
Okay. But the alcohol consumption, the alcohol service area impacts the consumption area. So we don't have that information about the pool deck.
So the application is just for the interior reconfigurative space, not for any exterior spaces. So the pool deck is sales, service, consumption of alcohol is under a separate entitlement for those hours of operation. So we are just looking at this application for the interior spaces only.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner. I think that's all our questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
David, do we have any public speakers at this time?
We have no public speakers.
Okay. Then we get to move on to commissioner deliberation. Does any, Commissioner Matos?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I've reviewed the subject matter before us and the resolution. I think that it all makes a lot of sense. As a personal note, I am a resident of the Sunset Strip, and this space being empty for so long is such a waste. I think the fact that we have an applicant that's willing to work with the community and be a good neighbor is telling. I think that they've proposed a very thoughtful plan. The floor plan shows that it flows quite nicely, actually better than the old plan. And we've seen a lot of thought and consideration going into the hours and things like that. So I'd applaud the applicant for working with staff to bring those thoughtful mitigation efforts into consideration. I would be inclined to support the staff recommendation as proposed, and I'm happy to make a motion right now, or I can later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Gregoire?
I don't have anything to add. I agree with everything that Commissioner Matos just said. I support staff recommendation.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner?
I don't want to jump ahead, Commissioner Jones.
I can speak, or you're welcome to go, Commissioner Hoopengarner. It's totally fine.
Okay. I'm 100% in favor of activating this property. As we all know, we've got a lot of properties on the Strip and elsewhere that are not very happy right now, and we're very much interested in moving things along to get things revitalized. My major concern is the noise into the neighborhood, and we all know how easy it is for those doors to get pulled back open, and that comes down to management, being, enforcing the doors being closed and managing the crowd, et cetera. We've had good actors and bad actors up and down the Strip, and we've, I don't think any of us really want any situation where we've got a, community having to call in every night and acrimony. We want it to be fun and an active space. So my concerns, as you probably could guess from my questions, are exactly how to enforce that to make sure that that happens. That being said, and to be very clear, these permits run with the land. And I appreciate your record as operators, et cetera, but things change. You sell hotels, somebody else comes in, and we've got a new problem on our hands, or maybe not. But if we don't make sure that we've got everything in place, that's my biggest concern. And then obviously you can have all the rules in the world, but if you have someone who doesn't enforce them, that doesn't help anybody. So I am inclined to approve this with the clear understanding that this not fall on the public and code enforcement to deal with the noise, because it is very disturbing to the community, and you want to have it be a fun and a vital space without being completely disruptive to the neighborhood. So anything you can do to make sure operationally that happens, that would be, I think, very important to both you and to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hoopengarner. Vice Chair Lombardi.
Did Commissioner Jones maybe want to go next?
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Jones.
It's okay.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So again, I don't have a ton to add to the comments from the rest of my fellow commissioners. As someone who was a semi-regular patron of the Standard, I'm really, really happy to see this space and the potential for it to be activated again. I agree wholeheartedly that it's languished, and candidly, the Standard was really ready for an upgrade. So I'm really pleased that an operator like Ian Schrager is going to be taking over the hotel and offering this new brand up to the city of West Hollywood and to the people who come here to visit and play and work. And I, again, trust in their record. I believe Mr. Schrager also owns the Edition Hotel just up the street on Sunset Strip, and by all accounts, it is incredibly popular and very, very well run. So I'm inclined to support this. I'm looking forward to, should it go forward, and I hope that it does, to checking it out. And those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Vice Chair Lombardi.
Thank you. This is a truly iconic property. It's historic, and I truly believe that a property that's not being fully used and utilized is likely not being fully maintained as well. And I think for the vitality of the Sunset Strip and also preserving this property, it's important to have the right steward to move it forward and maintain it and make sure that it doesn't obsolete itself. And so I think those are really important things to consider. All said, it seems like the requests are a combination of re-clarifying what spaces would be used for alcohol sales, and also maybe making adjustments that are more in keeping with what's common for other properties here and elsewhere. So it does make sense to me. It does seem that as this will be operated, it will probably have a little bit less of the potential noise concerns that maybe were occasionally an issue. If they were an issue, I don't really know. For the Standard Hotel, I do understand and want to acknowledge that what we're deciding today does carry with the land, and operators may change in the future, but That being said, I think we have to look at who's here today willing to work with the property and just trust that if there's issues down the road, then those will need to be dealt with however they would be in the future, hopefully the more distant future. And so I'm prepared I'd be prepared to approve this resolution as it stands.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lombardi. I agree with all the comments that have been made this evening. I'm thrilled to know that this building is going to be reactivated and interested in the fact that it's going to be reactivated as a more adult-oriented place. And just the fact that it will have that evolution and bring something different to Sunset Boulevard, I think is something I'm very happy to support. We had a ZTA a couple of weeks ago that tried to deal with how we manage sound infiltration into the neighborhood. It's been interesting that we have this hearing today because it just reflects on the hearing that we had 2 weeks ago about how important it is that this not fall onto the community, that they need to police it, that the operator, and I believe this operator will take responsibility, but that the operator makes sure that they abide by the guidelines so that it doesn't impact the neighborhoods. And I look forward to seeing that ZTA come back, with some solutions on that. I'm very happy to support this project. So Commissioner Matos, you have a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we move the staff recommendation and approve the conditional use permit before us.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Matos, seconded by Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Matos.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Hoopengarner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregoire.
Yes.
Vice Chair Lombardi.
Yes.
Chair Carvalero.
Yes.
And the motion is approved unanimously. We do have an appeal process. The resolution the Planning Commission just approved memorializes the final action on this matter. This action is subject to appeal to the City Council. Appeals must be submitted within 10 calendar days from this date to the City Clerk's office. Appeals must be in writing and accompanied by the required fees. The City Clerk's office can provide appeal forms and information about waiver of fees. The deadline is Monday, July 1st, 2024 at 5 p.m.
Thank you, David. So items 12, new business, we have none. Item 13, unfinished business, we have none. Item 14, excluded calendar, we have none. Item 15, items from the staff. Planning manager's update.
Good evening, thank you. I have some updates on our upcoming meetings. The next regular meeting would be on July 4th. That is, of course, canceled. The following meeting is on July 18th. We have a few items coming up. One of them is subcommittee appointments, so be thinking about that. We will also review a ZTA, or a zone text amendment, for a revision requested by the City Council with regard to the above lower income replacement requirements. And we will also have a multifamily housing project, which we haven't seen in a little while, so we will get to use both of our public hearing sections on the agenda.
Great.
That is for July 18th. We do not have any items scheduled for upcoming design review subcommittee meetings, nor do we have items scheduled for upcoming Sunset Arts and Advertising subcommittee meetings. The next long-range planning project subcommittee meeting will be on July 18th, and we will be reviewing a ZTA for EV installations on private property, and that is to comply with state law. That's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions for staff? No? Okay, thank you. David, do we have any public comments?
No.
No. 17, items from commissioners. Commissioner Gregoire.
I just want to take a moment to thank Chair Caballero for serving our commission for the last 12 months as chair. You did a wonderful job, and we learned a lot from being on the commission with you as chair, and we look forward to Commissioner Lombardi being our new chair.
I too would like to add my thanks to you for smoothly running meetings for the past year. It really means a lot to me that you've done a lot to ensure that every member of this body has the ability to speak, and that there's equitable time for each member of this body, and that they all feel valued. So that's been really great, and we look up to you, and we're really excited to see you continue to serve on this commission, and thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoopen-Gardner.
Yes, thank you, Chair, for a really outstanding job. I know how hard it is. I got to do it during Zoom.
I know, that was impossible.
And I look forward to our new chair and vice chair, and I'd like to welcome Commissioner Jones back to the family, with the family. It's great to have you back. I hope this means you're coming back in person soon-ish. And with that, have a good summer, everyone.
Thank you. Vice Chair Lombardi?
Yes, well, first of all, I want to say thank you for trusting me with taking over as chair. And then I also want to say, outgoing Chair Cavallero, thank you for doing such a wonderful job. It's not always an easy task, and you make it feel quite smooth. And also, on a more personal note, I really appreciate the collaborative effort and approach that you took, and it was really helpful for me over the last year. So I really want to thank you for that and say that I appreciate it, and it means a lot to me.
Great, thank you.
And lastly, congratulations to Commissioner Gregoire, Vice Chair Gregoire, and I look forward to working with you.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes, thank you. I just want to make a couple of comments and congratulations. First of all, Chair Caballero, we have been very fortunate to have had you run meetings so capably for the past year. Thank you so much for kind of steering us through this time. The Commission's undergone a great amount of change in the last few years, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that, you know, we have all learned from you and you do an incredible job. Many congrats also to Vice Chair Lombardi, soon to be chair, and to Commissioner Gregoire. Looking forward to having you at our helm. I also want to thank Commissioner Edwards for his service. He will be missed. Again, I know we've had a lot of changes of late. I did want to note that I did reach out to former Commissioner Copeland with some baby pictures, which apparently people really like. Happy to send any of you them if you want them. But in any case, she does seem to be in good spirits, and I'm probably missing out because I haven't been at meetings in several months. But on that note, I did just want to say that I am very appreciative to the city of West Hollywood, and also living in the state of California as a pregnant woman and then someone who had a baby. I do have a 3-month-old son now, and living here is so much more accommodating than you would believe it is in many other places, and I'm very grateful. I'm happy to be back. I will be back in person at our July 18th meeting, so I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. And at some point, maybe I'll bring my little potato head with me so you can meet him at some point. But in any case, I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me virtually this evening, especially for this item. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in July.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. We're very happy to see you and have you back. And Vice Chair-elect Gregoire and Chair-elect Lombardi, I think you're going to do a great job. It's been wonderful working with you for the last year and with staff. Our Thursday morning meetings are always very helpful and very informative, and always kind of set up a good temperature for our Planning Commission meeting that evening. So it's an honor to be able to serve the community in this capacity. I learn more every time I do this, as it's the second time I've chaired. I look forward and hope that I have other opportunities to chair, and thank you to my fellow commissioners for all your hard work and all your great comments and questions. Truly appreciate, and I know the community appreciates it, and it can be very complicated, and I think we more or less do a good job of explaining our tasks and our complications and our deliberation to the public in a meaningful and understanding kind of way. So I look forward to continuing that as commissioner, and I will now adjourn this meeting, to our next regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting, which is on Thursday, July 18th, 2024 at 6:30 here in Council Chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.